Hello and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays. I noticed somebody saying it was like commenting like Umber always says that, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of my video intro. It's also been kind of programmed into my brain. It feels polite just to welcome people to a video and remind them of who I am, because honestly, if I don't remember who I am, well, then I'll probably forget it. So yeah, that's really important. All right, so globals next week. You guys are in the thick of it with the near stuff. You guys have a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, you're pretty much out of the Final Fantasy X stuff. If you're not, honestly, I forgot at this point. Feel like I've been using Final Fantasy X in like global videos forever. And geez, I mean, you still got a little bit of time before Lord Mont shows up, and in all honesty, I'm curious if you guys are just really happy for like a nice break week, like just kind of getting away from, too much, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing. Here we are to talk about some 3-star awakenings and some job awakenings too. So taking a look at it, looks like Tetra Sylphid is getting a 3-star awakening. This is, more or less for the fact that she can be essentially paired with 2B. And that's fine. I actually think that's totally fine. Into the future, you're probably going to want, if you've even gotten 2B, I'm sure that you've thought about pairing Tetra in there, just because it doesn't feel like there is a ton of wind elemental summons at the moment. So yeah, evocation magic goes up, accuracy up, evasion up, wind attack up. Probably a summon that you're going to want to get to 3 stars at some point in the future. So good enough. That's good enough. But also we have Seymour Butts. Sorry, bad joke. And Seymour is a really interesting case to talk about because of the element he's in. Now let's take a look at actually like the fire elemental DPS in the UR tier and not pooping on any of them. All right, so we got Old Leonis, we got Delita, we got Winter Macherie, we got Luartha, I guess we technically have Rain, and we have Raldor, or Larudo as I like to. When I think about it, the fire DPS, or the fire as an element, still feels pretty damn weak. I feel like JP's gonna have to give him I feel like fire is overdue for an element if you think that FF7 gave a lot of the elements really strong characters at this point. I think it's time for fire to get something new. So really, if you are a fire elemental guy, if you have been waiting for fire to potentially get a good new DPS, like Old, I feel even with his EX is just too old. No, not necessarily a pun there. Winter Macherie is limited, Delita is limited, and both of them getting their 120s right now feels a little bit unlikely. Summer Ketone will probably be coming to the global side before Delita ever gets his EX, so yeah. And even then, okay, Luartha, she's pretty common, and Raldor is pretty common, and Rain is pretty common. So you do have some fire DPS, but it feels like some of the more powerful ones are without an EX and waiting for an EX whenever their limited time banners come back. Doesn't necessarily feel good, but segueing back into me talking about Seymour, I do think that he is potentially a good consideration for anyone looking to get Lord Mont, and also you are Lord Mont, because you might be looking for a fire elemental partner or just another fire DPS. And overall, I think that this guy is actually pretty decent. Now, our mind, I haven't built mine because one of the big things for me with lower tier units, really I am just looking for who to EX based on selection quests and my potential interest in progressing very far in selection quests. There just isn't that much right now that is going on for fire, first of all, so that's kind of been something that's held me off for it. But it should be noted that with Lord Mont, there will be a new porcelain tower, and with that new porcelain tower will be the fire elemental ring, and fire is an important element for it. If I remember correctly, I think Shiva was the final enemy in those towers, so might want to remember that. But yeah, I think that Seymour is a perfectly good character, like not amazing and obviously without a selection quest in the near future. There isn't a ton that he is essentially going to be used for. You're essentially going to be pairing for a mono elemental team or an elemental bonus from vision cards. And that Mont does start getting some more vision cards into the future that do benefit him, and Phoenix is also coming out, which will be a nice pairing for either Mont or potentially for Seymour if you wanted to make him more, I don't know, durable. Taking a look at his upgrades, he gets a support upgrade, basically his attack up, evasion rate for self, and decreased defense for self. Loses the defense down, it looks like, unless that's a misprint, and decreases AP consumption as well. And that might just be pretty good for a DPS of a lower tier who's looking to, you know, throw out more damage. Also upgraded by him is his ability that has a chance to inflict slow, which does get a nice new one. Alright, so taking a look at this, 175% modifier, that stays the same. It's 25% chance to inflict, so that stays the exact same. Range gets increased by 1, so it's now a 2 range instead of just a single range. And also 25% chance to inflict disable for 3 turns on targets. And that, pretty strong ability, because if turns out if your opponent can't do anything, it's a good way to just kill them. No, not bad. Taking also a look, he gets one single brand new ability, 165% modifier plus AoE with a range of 4. That has a 25% chance to inflict sleep for 3 turns. I don't feel as crazy about this one, just because, you know, the AI is just gonna bonk them even if they get sleep or slept, and then they're awake again, winging at you. Hella angry. So yeah, honestly, Seymour is not like insane to me. I think that his non-120 ability is his best stuff. I think that he gets a nice, you know, increase to his support that makes him more relevant. Yes, I think that slow status effect is nice, but also the chance to increase, or just by giving disable. You don't need to take him necessarily to 120, and you don't need to rush on this character either, just because he feels like he'll be very good when that selection quest comes out, but you'll have about 3 months notice on that selection quest coming out, so don't feel like it's a rush, but feel like you might want to just slowly move him there, especially if you're looking for a fire DPS to pair with Lord Mont, and you don't have some of the limited characters or the fire DPS limited characters. Or, well, anyway, not really much to talk about on the global side, but I'm sure you guys are happy for a quiet week while some of you are still building 2B, some of you are trying to get 2B, and some of you are building 9S, and some of you are ignoring Nier and just taking a little mini coma vacation while you wait for something new to show up. Don't worry. I got Lord Mont. Rule. Very good against the big Thunder Elemental characters in the future. Black Witch Helena. The summer units. Warrior of Lights EX. I mean, the list goes on and on. So take your reprieves where you can. Save resources where you can, because it's expensive in the future. And you should pick your battles. Thanks for watching. Take care. And, yeah. See you next time.